saw yesterday you were breaking out some of your old school baseball cards and memorabilia, and I wanted to bring this up because I feel like so many guys collect things, and I want to be the first to tell you, if you ever have an older family member pass away, I'm not trying to get morbid on you, but if you ever have an older family member pass away, one of the things you have to do is honestly throw out all their stuff, because what they thought was important, no one else thinks is important. So, God forbid, great-grandma dies, and she collected National Geographic magazines for 20 years. You're throwing out boxes of magazines and old newspapers, and
some of them got to be worth something.
No, you end up
Girl with the Beautiful Eyes, that's got to be worth something.
Anyone that sadly has had to go through this, an old relative dies, and you end up spending days, honestly, just throwing out their stuff. So I ask you, of all your sports memorabilia, what are you keeping it for, and what's the end game for you?
The end game for me on a Throwback Thursday, the reason I even busted out my collection is because we do a Patreon.
Yeah.
Right? Patreon.com/Covino and Rich, and we do stuff at SiriusXM. But I just wanted to show off my collection and talk a little old school baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love baseball. So I was just showing off some of my cards, but I keep my prized possessions, my best cards, in the hard plastic in a little box, like a little shoe box. But I have Rubbermaid bins full of complete sets. I got sets, I got binders. Like every collection starts back in the day with your binders, your sleeves, and you're putting them in there.
Of course.
You're collecting by team, but then eventually you're buying all these traded sets and rookie sets, and I got, like I said, complete sets for years and boxes and boxes.
But I gotta ask you, what are you doing with that stuff? What are you doing with that stuff?
You keep it because I'll tell you what, because the thought is, like, look, right now I just have a daughter, and she's not really into sports. She's more of an artsy type, right? But if I have another child or a nephew or a cousin or somebody that's into baseball, this might be a treasure for them someday, just like my uncles were for me. So it's not about making some killer profit one day or selling all these and going on to offer up. But I'll tell you what, when I was a kid and I caught the baseball card bug and I was hitting the shows, what a thrill going to the shows.
Of course.
And trading and scamming. I mean, and hustling for trades and cards, and It was a great time in my life. And I remember finding out, well, your uncles used to collect cards. I'm like, they did? Where are they? And sure enough, it was like discovering One-Eyed Willie's treasure. I'm like, no way. Someday, if there's someone in my family, it could be one of your kids. You know, Uncle Steve had a bunch of cards. Hey, take a look, go at it, have fun.
If you got your uncle's old Mickey Mantle and Roberto Clemente.
I got Mad Bob Clementes.
I get it. Those are great. But what are you doing with Kevin Seitzer, 1990, like,
it's part of your childhood.
Card.
Why are you so quick to throw away your childhood? I don't get that, man.
You're just taking
I had
space.
a great childhood. Despite what Twitter said about my mom never loving me and I never got hugged as a kid, I had a great and wonderful, magical childhood.
Oh.
So why throw away? Hey, if a Jose Canseco rated rookie still makes me smile.
Yeah, but what do you do? How often do you look at it?
Is it for you?
Enough to bring joy to me.
Is it for you or your kids? Because you just
Both.
spun it as it's for
because
your future son.
I'm still at an age where it still brings me joy. It's like it's like looking at photo albums, but instead of like, hey, look at Dad.
No,
it's
you're
like,
looking at grown men.
It's like, hey, look at Don Mattingly.
It's not your uncle. It's not your...
Dude, but those players meant the world to me, dude. And it didn't have to be just Yankees. I'm talking the legends we grew up with and even prior to that. But if I'm looking at old school, let me tell you something. I got a picture of it.
Let me ask you a question.
Hold on, I want to show you.
Hold on, he's asking you a question.
Why you pull this up?
Yeah.
When was the last time you took a CD and put it in a CD player?
I have a sauna with a CD player, and I play Rage Against the Machine.
Good for
so
you.
I do it once in a while.
All right, good for you.
Well, once in a while.
You use a CD player?
Once in a
The
while.
average person. When was the last time you used a CD player?
I thought he just said that to be a contrarian. I don't know. I haven't used a CD player in a decade.
Exactly.
In fact, true confession,
Yeah, but they didn't mean as much to you.
I don't own
I
a
built
CD
a career
player.
in music. I'm a rock fan. Those are like my babies. I loved them. I collected them. I purchased them.
But when you have access
so
to
why would I get rid of them?
endless amounts of music on these streaming services,
Which I have and work for.
doesn't it make the physical copy a little bit obsolete?
No,
Obsolete.
Because they meant something to me.
Great.
I have the memories attached to buying them, using my hard-earned Bennigan's money to go and buy them at the CD store, making the risk and investment on these CDs and then loving it from start to finish.
All right.
Something you guys didn't take any pride in or joy in. So, yeah, it means something to me.
I disagree.
I don't expect everybody to agree, but everybody has their own version of this. And Rich is saying, why do you hang on to it?
It's a fair question.
Why the hell do you get rid of it?
It's a fair question. You get all defensive as always.
Why is it defensive? You asked a question. I'm answering it.
Well, I'm just saying, we realize.
Is
when
it
we look at
defensive because I don't agree with you?
When we look at our parents and grandparents' stuff, and sadly, when they're not here, you end up throwing out everything.
But not all of it's trash. Not all of it's garbage. Yo, hold on. I got to show Elijah what I found. Look at this. Just a random page in my binder. Look at that whole page of Bo Jackson rookies and all different Bo Jackson cards. And they're probably not worth anything. But you know how cool it is to see that? And like, oh, yeah, man, look at all these Bo Jacksons. There might not be another guy like that ever again in our lifetime. One of my relatives in the future might find that and be like, hey, that's kind of cool. I heard of Bo Jackson. He had that. He lived that. That's pretty awesome. That's my answer.
Okay, fair enough. I was Sam.
I'm seeing a clear line of demarcation here that Rich is a non-tchotchke guy and Steve is a tchotchke guy.
Correct.
Rich puts no value
Rich
on anything.
gets the tchotchkes out of the house. Steve keeps the tchotchkes. I'm a tchotchke guy. I got all kinds of collections.
Rich is a Chachi guy. He was a big fan of
I love tchotchke.
Tchotchke.
Joni likes tchotchkes.
No, you know what? I was Sam. Nail on the head, man. This guy.
If you have the space, hold on to it. That's my.
No, listen.
If it has personal value, right?
Bro,
You don't know what that Bo Jackson card might be worth in another 30 years. You don't.
But even if it's not, it means something to me.
It says, yeah.
I
Look back on it.
I have the space.
Nostalgia.
I have the space. Humble brag. I have a house.
Do you have attic space? Whoa, wow.
No, but I have a house. But you know what I have? I'll tell you what I have. As a Mets fan, my friends bought me for one of my, I think like my 30th birthday back in the day, a Tom Seaver signed jersey and a plaque. I have a Montana jersey signed, being I'm a Niners guy. I got a 1986 the full team autographed a baseball in a nice little case. I have a handful of things that mean something to me. Other than that, what the hell do I want with a 2005 Mets program when they played the Brewers?
Oh, well, you don't need all of it. You think I kept all of it? I did not.
You did take pictures of it.
No, man. Look.
Then just scroll through and look at that.
You're expecting people to throw away their greatest childhood memories, and not everybody's so willing to do that.
Oh, you know what? Being that everyone yesterday on Twitter was saying that you're a bad dad, maybe I'm a bad dad because when my kids bring artwork home from school, I'm like, oh. I start being like an art critic. I'm like, this one's not good enough for throwing this out. Oh, this one's good enough. Maybe we'll hold on to this one. I wonder what parents do with their kids' stuff. Do your parents still have
Rubbermaid bins? They're all in Rubbermaid bins.
Yeah, I don't know.
My daughter's an artist.
Click,
I got
take
bins
pictures
and boxes and bins and bins and bins of that.
Pictures.